Boxing is a gentleman's sport where humility and respect towards the fighting ring and its participants should never be lacking, even in the most legendary champion in the history of the discipline. However, over time, we have witnessed those boxers whose best weapon is their tongue, boasting about skills they do not back up with actions once they enter the ring. Fortunately, every arrogant boxer eventually receives their lesson, and many of them have had to learn about the values of boxing from the hard fists of Mike Tyson. Welcome, we hope you are comfortable because you are about to enter a tough class with brutal teaching methods, but luckily you will only be an observer. Mike Tyson versus Donnie Long. Donnie Long is the first unfortunate boxer to appear on the list of conceited fighters whom the great Iron Mike taught a lesson in the harshest way. Long had a short stint in the discipline, active from 81 to 87, and it was precisely his tough defeat against Mike Tyson that caused his professional career to crumble. On October 9, 85, in the ring of the Trump Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Long had to face his fate and fight against the young knockout machine, Mike Tyson, in a scheduled 6-round bout. That night, Tyson entered the ring with an undefeated record of 8 victories by knockout, while Long held a record of 15 victories, 10 of them by knockout and 3 defeats. It was then that Frank Cappuccino, without even starting the count, declared Tyson the winner by technical knockout at 1 minute and 28 seconds of the first round. Mike Tyson versus Buster Matthysse Jr. Another conceited fighter who had a short stint in the discipline, and it was precisely his defeat against the great Iron Mike that would initiate his decline. Is Buster Matthysse Jr. His period of activity in professional boxing was from 91 to 96, with a clean record of victories until he crossed paths with Tyson. Before his fight against Tyson, Matthysse Jr. had an undefeated record of 20 victories, 16 of them by knockout, giving him enough confidence to act despicably towards the young legend, boasting about everything he would do once they stepped into the ring. The night arrived, and on December 16, 95, Matthysse Jr. had to prove that his skills inside the ring matched his bold words. Far from true, Tyson entered the ring at the Core State Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to show the conceited fighter what a good boxing demonstration was, setting the pace of the fight from the first moment and submitting him without mercy.
We'll see what happens when he gets hit, though.
Body punches, there's a shot.
And he has done a nice job of doing a good job slipping.
Tyson missing again with the left.
Matthysse Jr. tried to resist standing for as long as possible, but he ended up being knocked down during the 3rd round without showing signs of life, while Frank Cappuccino counted for his safety.
That right-footed pivot, swing around on your opponent's side, and then
Buster's career seemed to be on track after winning his next fight by knockout against Ken Smith. However, one fight away, there was a knockout defeat orchestrated by Lou Savarese that would lead him to reconsider his abilities for the discipline and retire definitively from the fighting rings. Mike Tyson versus Tony Tubbs. After a tough defeat, some boxers can be seen rectifying their arrogance and sending a different message to the audience, showing respect for the fight that has taken place and, especially, for their opponent. However, this was not the case for Tony Tubbs. Although his professional record did not categorize him as a deficient fighter, with 24 victories, 15 of them by knockout, and only 1 defeat, there was no comparison with the already established champion Iron Mike, who remained undefeated with 33 victories, 29 of them by knockout. On March 21, 88, Tyson had to enter the ring to stop the threat that Tubbs represented to his heavyweight titles from the World Boxing Council, the World Boxing Association, and the International Boxing Federation. Despite Tubbs seeing himself as a formidable challenger to the Beast's reign, nothing could prepare him for what he experienced that night in the ring of the Tokyo Dome in Japan. Tyson's warrior spirit activated as soon as the opening bell rang, and everything seemed to be going well for Tubbs, who managed to offer good exchanges, mitigating Tyson's offense with jabs and quick combinations.
But for a big man, he's got fast hands. It's just a question now, is this strong chin that we talk about? And Bone Crusher Smith have stayed the course. It's obviously Tubbs planned him. He's going to try and do a bit of outsmarting. I mean, that is...
By the 2nd round, Tubbs's courage had run out. He was hit by a daring left hook that landed smoothly on his right eye, making his whole body tremble.
Right through Tyson's guard, that went.
Tubbs ended up falling lifeless on the canvas, where he received the count by Arthur Mercant as his blood stained the peaceful light blue of the ring.
Tyson. He's got his shot. His body's broken up on him, Jim, and it's just as well he missed him with that one.
After the fight, far from showing respect to the champion who managed to retain his titles, Tony claimed that it had been a stroke of luck. Mike Tyson versus Tyrell Biggs. The story of the conflict between Mike Tyson and Tyrell Biggs goes back years before they met in a professional boxing ring. Tyson's biggest dream in his youth was to represent his country in the Olympics and win a gold medal, but due to his short stature, the selection decided not to trust his abilities. Heartbroken, Tyson approached the group he aspired to belong to at the airport to wish them a safe journey, and Tyrell took the opportunity to humiliate him with a joke that seemed to come out of nowhere, emphasizing that he could not experience what they were about to. Since then, the rivalry between Biggs and Tyson only increased, as Tyrell claimed that he knew the already champion better than anyone and that he wasn't as tough as he appeared. On October 16, '87, in the ring of the Convention Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, destiny would call them both to iron out their differences and finally determine which of them was the best in the eyes of thousands of present spectators. Biggs was the threat to Tyson's heavyweight titles from the World Boxing Council, the World Boxing Association, and the International Boxing Federation, but he only managed to reach the 7th round of the 15 scheduled rounds for the event. It would be a left hook that made the arrogant Olympic medalist fly towards his corner, where his body hit the canvas with his feet in the air.
Oh, that was a tremendous left hand.
Mike Tyson versus Frank Bruno. The logistics of the first encounter between Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno could easily be labeled as impossible, as the champion's busy personal life continued to provide reasons to reschedule the fight. At one point, Bruno created rumors that Tyson was only running away from him, the new threat to the world heavyweight titles from the World Boxing Council, the World Boxing Association, the International Boxing Federation, and the Ring magazine that Mike held. Finally, on February 25, '89, more than a year after the initially scheduled date for the match, Bruno had the opportunity to enter the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton in Nevada to face Tyson. But the result was not what he had waited for so long. Tyson attacked Bruno with the savagery of a beast that had waited locked in its cage for so long to pounce on its prey.
Tyson finally went to the body in that last exchange. Now Bruno lands a short. Bruno down after a right hand.
After an explosive fight, he ended up defeating Bruno by technical knockout at 2 minutes and 55 seconds of the 5th round.
Uppercut, right hand. Bruno's in serious trouble. A left hook. Only got one.
It's just a matter of
This is vicious punishment.
That's not shot. That's that photo shot. Beautiful.
Frank's arrogance would lead him to think that he had studied Tyson enough over the years to beat him in a rematch. On March 16, '96, now being the world heavyweight champion of the World Boxing Council, he entered the ring at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, seeking to avenge his previous defeat and beat the Great Iron Mike, who was believed to be past his prime. Tragically, Bruno ended up losing by technical knockout just 50 seconds into the 3rd round, handing his eternal rival the title he had just obtained.
Here's a combination uppercut by Tyson. Bruno expected. He said he's not looking for the Tyson to fall. Tyson laid it on, pouring it on. Down goes Bruno into the ropes.
If you've made it this far, we thank you. Remember that there is no better way to support our content than by leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel by activating the notification bell so that more stories reach you each time. Now that you know the story behind these fights, which one is your favorite and why? We'll read your comments.